Wait, don't upgrade. Let me tell you something. Buying new is actually hurting your wallet a lot more than you think. And it's not really helping your FPS too much. Just hold your horses and hold on to your wallet for a little bit and see how much longer you can ride out your system, because these new upgrades are really just kind of side grades. Latest and greatest, you gotta always buy it, right? The new Intel Core Ultra CPUs just came out, and it looks like people are rushing out to buy these things. The 285K just sold out, at least in Japan. Actually, I saw that it was sold out on Newegg. All models were, which is kind of interesting considering, you know, how bad these things were reviewed, and, you know, the mind share of this launch was very, very low. But why did they sell out? You know, is it just because new shiny thing we have to buy? Well, today I wanted to talk about new hardware and why actually you shouldn't be buying the latest and greatest, because you kind of pay a new hardware tax on these items here. 285K is sold out here. New shiny hardware. We all have to buy that, right? Even if it's not even faster. And it's $630. It's on a wait list on, looks like B&H, Best Buy, sold out. I know it's sold out on Newegg. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy to see that people are rushing out to buy this new stuff, even though it's no better than the old generation. And it got me thinking, after seeing these new parts selling out, is why do people buy new things when they don't need them? Why do they pay twice, 2 times, 3 times as much for a new product when they can just go on the used market, or even just look at last generation, buy something that's maybe 10% slower for half the price? So I wanted to talk about that today, as we just saw the 285K is $630 and it's sold out. The 9950X is $670 on Amazon. It may be a little bit lower in other places, maybe as low as $600, but still, that's a lot to pay for a CPU. Guys, why would you get the 9950X when you can get the 7950X for $500? Same place, Amazon, and they perform almost identically, guys. So it's just kind of weird to see this, that people just rush out and have to buy the latest and greatest stuff. Something that I want to talk about is just like, you can save literally like $1,000 if you want to build a gaming PC if you go to last gen and you buy used on eBay. For example, the 13700K, I found this for as low as $240 on eBay. There's some that's $280, but $240. And guys, that is insane value you're getting for this. You'll get gaming performance on par with both of these CPUs for much less. And sure, the multi-threaded may be 30% slower, but you're paying literally like less than half the price. So it's a no-brainer. Not only that, you know, Intel's mind share and everything is so low now with everything that's transpired, that you can get Z690 motherboards, I kid you not, for literally $80 on eBay. It's crazy. These are regularly going for less than $100 on eBay. You get tons of NVMe storage, and, you know, a socket that can support up to a 24-core CPU. And, you know, there's speculation that actually there's very low supply for this CPU, and that's probably because they're using all of these TSMC nodes, especially 3NB, which is in very low capacity right now. It's in high demand, and the capacity is not really there yet. But going on, you know, it doesn't make sense for everything. Like a 4080 Super is $1,000 on Amazon, which is, you know, a ton of money for a graphics card. And then on eBay, it only goes down to like $900. This is obviously a scam. It's from China. The lowest I've seen was $900 for like an open box Zotac, which, hey, it's white, maybe not a bad deal, but if you want to get the new product, I can see you spending an extra $100 for that. That definitely makes some sense there. But actually, last gen is giving us really good price performance on the used market. The 3080 is going for as low as like $330 by now. I think this is on average around $350 used, guys, which is really, really spicy. And, you know, if you want to look at the best deals in every price category, just go ahead and check out my graphics card tier list. I just uploaded it last week. It's doing really well. And hey, I rank every price tier from S tier all the way down to F tier. and you can get an idea of what you should be buying right now if you want to get some graphics cards for real cheap on the used market. Just a little plug there. So basically, this is double the price to performance as a 4080 right now, 4080 Super right now, which is really, really good. And then 13700K, it's a no-brainer at this price, guys. Like, don't even consider these if you want the multi-core. Just go for this, and you'll get a balanced build that can really game really well too. And it's crazy to see people spending like $630 on a new CPU when I built this whole PC. In my video titled, this $550 PC is actually good. Many of the parts that you would be buying at the high end, but if you're just trying to get into the game, you can get really good deals for really cheap if you go used, guys. The pricing of these next gen products, I don't think upgrading is going to make sense for people anymore. You know, who's going to want to buy these things right off the rip when the price performance is worse, they're buggy, and you have to upgrade to a whole new platform? Does not make sense, guys. And then we're looking at the 50 series specs here, and guys, it looks like the 5090 is going to be $2,000 or more. The 5080, if it's not $1,000, it's DOA, but it's probably going to be $1,200. 5070, $700, and then 5060 probably $400 or $350. Like, and really at that point, where does that leave the budget conscious buyer? And that's going to be last gen. You know what I mean? Like, you aren't going to be able to be competitive with your rig anymore. You aren't going to be able to have the bee's knees and the newest stuff when you're on a budget anymore, guys. In the past, we'd get these huge price performance upgrades with every gen, and it actually made sense to buy the newest thing. But now, really, I mean, with these kind of deals, guys, motherboards under $100, Z7 690, which is just top tier, and CPUs like this that are actually better than the flagship coming out now in gaming, it really doesn't make sense, guys, to go all out on your builds anymore. And the 50 series, honestly, I'm not expecting much out of it. This year has been a really bad year for releases so far, and I don't think the 50 series is really going to change that. Now, let me just sit down here. I'm going to tell y'all a story. I've succumbed to the day one upgrade trap once in my career of being a PC gamer. I pre-ordered in COVID in 2020. I pre-ordered a 5800X. I was really excited about Zen 3. I thought, having an 8-core CPU was just going to be so cool. And it did come with a free game, which was kind of cool. Far Cry 6, I think. Or was it 5? Far Cry 5 or 6. That's besides the point. So I was really excited. I'm like, oh yeah, 8 cores. I was on a Ryzen 2600X. I was going to jump to the 5800X. Decided to get a whole new motherboard and everything. I wanted PCIe Gen 4. I wanted to go all out for Ampere. I was going to upgrade my graphics card too, and that didn't really work out how I wanted. So I pre-ordered a 5800X, and you want to know the MSRP of that 8-core CPU? It was $450 for just an 8-core back then. And let me just look up what that is going for now. Okay, on Newegg it's going for $184, and I've seen the 5700X as low as $120. Okay, $120. We'll just call it $120 because for real, that's what it actually is, especially if you look on AliExpress and all that. So I bought the CPU for $450 after tax. It was $500 just for that one CPU. And I can honestly say it was not worth the price at all. I mean, now CPUs are so cheap. We could have got, if I just held the bag, I could have gotten 2 of these 13700Ks for the price of that one 8-core 5800X. So I paid a premium, first buyer tax on buying that new hardware. And I got to say, I did regret it in the long run. I ended up selling, or I sold it. I think I sold my 5800X and that X570 for like $220 or something, like literally like super cheap. I actually used that $250 to buy 12600K and Z690 a couple years ago. And it was like a flat trade because I got my 12600K for $100, which was an amazing deal back then, and the Z690 for $150. So it was about $250 minus $250. just kind of broke even. But unless you're a tinkerer, unless you really just like new hardware, don't buy hardware on day one just because you're excited, because you're going to end up paying 2 to 3 times more rather than if you just waited a couple years. And if you got to buy something now, buy last gen. Last gen right now is just as fast as the newest gen. And with 50 series, it may be slightly faster, but guys, it's going to cost a pretty penny. So yeah, that's my story. I bought a 5800X for $500 and I sold it for less than half that just a couple years later, guys. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've all fallen into this trap before, but me, I'm never going to fall for it again unless it's like a GPU that's actually really good. That's the only time I'd buy a product like day one, when it's just like a 1080 Ti kind of GPU and I really just got to have it. But me personally, I'm just going to buy last gen on the used market for literally half the price. I got my 13700K for $220 in person, and then my 4080 for $730 over Zotac's website. So yeah, honestly, just play the game, play the waiting game, wait for those deals to come to you. There's a lot of deals out there, especially for CPUs right now. And there are actually some good graphics cards deals. Like I said, check out my GPU tier list. And if you really want to build a budget PC, check out this $550 PC because it was actually a pretty good build guide. And I'll just give you a hint. AliExpress is your friend. They will sell things for literally half the price. It's great. But yeah, that's all I got to say is, don't fall for these upgrade traps just because a new shiny CPU comes out with this new branding, Ultra, whatever. You don't need it. I'm still on my M1 Mac. It still runs great. I'm still on Raptor Lake here, and it's all running well. Sure, I'm on 40 series, but I picked it up for a good deal. And yeah, what I'm going to say is just, all these new CPUs are coming out. All the new GPUs are going to come out, and I just urge you to wait if the price performance is not there for you.
He's got the knowledge, he's got the skill. When he drops his take, the hate